Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis, and I have this wonderful team that God has provided me to manage that I always like to introduce next because they're more important than me, actually. Without them, I couldn't do this. First off is Faith. And Faith has been my assistant basically since the day she was born, probably even while she was in her mommy's womb. And then, all through the years, she's done all kinds of things as my assistant and then became my official assistant like 4 years ago. And now she's 18 and still cooking, and it's cool. It's very cool. But she does everything behind the scenes, answers all of your questions when you say hi, hello, good morning, however you want to greet us. She's the one who answers you. I do look at it later to make sure that there isn't something else that I need to say. And she's our soloist. And today I don't even remember what I told you to sing. Do you remember what the name of it is?
How could anyone ever tell you? And it's on Songs of Spirit 1.
Oh, yes. I remember that. We
And
need to sing that in church.
there's no karaoke track, so I get to sing with Karen Drucker today.
Awesome. Okay.
Super
Cool.
cool.
Very cool. All right. Love you. Thank you for being here, sweetie. All right. And then there is my partner in crime since 1998, the wise and powerful Oz. And he was my first baby practitioner, meaning he took all of his training with me, except for one class at Mile High, and then was my board president for something like 11 years. And then he moved away to Florida. We kind of lost him for a little bit, but now with this new technology, he's back with us, and we love having Oz with us. He is praying us in and praying us out, and at the very end, he'll be available for our 1-minute miracle. Thank you, Oz. We love you. All right. And then my ad hoc, oh goodness, my music team that doesn't really come here, but they provide music for us. That's all that matters. Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver is one of them, and Karen Drucker is the other. So I always like to acknowledge them because we couldn't do any music on Sunday without the two of them. So thank you, both of you, for that. Today's message is love a significant other in preparation for our Valentine's Day. And that's all I'm going to say for right now. I'll tell you more later. All right. Say hi, hello, good morning, however you like to greet us. When we're in a facility, I can look out and see who's here. But with this software, I don't have that ability. So please let us know that you're here. And if you'd like to do a watch party, it's a great way for people to know what kind of message they will receive on Sunday. And you can talk back and forth with their questions without bothering anybody. So click on that watch party button, and invite all your friends. All right. So with that, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift and inspire you as we move into our centering song.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. presence of God is in this place.
Presence of God, for God is all there is, all being, all existence, all time. It's all encompassed in this one concept that we speak of as God. It is all things. It animates all things. It creates all things continuously, ever renewing creation as it moves along. All potential creations are within this one great being. That being is right here, right now, in me and you, in everything that is, and all we encounter. And the blessings that flow forth, the potential for perfection existing in every single moment, in all situations. And I know right now that that unfoldment of perfection is happening in you, in me, and everywhere. Despite contrary appearances and ideas that it may be different, I know for certain that God is there, acting in full capacity in each and every situation. And I give thanks that this is so, and I let it be, and I let it unfold. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much, Oz. It's always so helpful to have someone pray. I just, when someone prays with me, I just feel so calm and serene. And that's what our practitioners are good for, actually. Call them up, say, pray for me. And they pray and everything seems like okay. I love having practitioners. All right. And so this next song is one of Reverend Ferry Elaine Silver's, We Are All One. It is our philosophy that we are all one and we are all connected. And it's so perfect with the message that I have for today. So sing along. If you know the words, sing it loud and sing it proud, because you can't bother anybody. And if you don't know the words, learn them. It's a great meme to get stuck in your head.
We are all one, we are all one, we are all one in it. I hear it and know it, my being. Spirit is all I am seeing, for God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I have seen, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one, we are all one, we are all one in it. Yes, we are all one, we are all one, we are all one in it.
So please say hi, hello, good morning, however you like to greet us. Let us know that you're here. In a facility, I can look out and see who's here. On this software, I don't have that ability, so I like knowing who's here. Also, if you like something that you hear, use that thumbs up button. If you love something that you hear, it doesn't matter whether I say it or Faith sings it or Oz speaks it. Just send us love. We love to get hearts, so send us love. And if I'm really on track, or Faith sings something that really hits you as strong, or the prayers get you on a very visceral level, let us know that we're on target by using the wow button. So anyway, all right. And so without further ado, I had forgotten about this song. We used to do this song in the church service. And I love this song because it's so true. So how could anyone? There we go.
could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than a whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone ever notice that your loving is a miracle? Connected to my spirit and my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone not notice that your loving is a miracle? Connected to my spirit and my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you are anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you are less than whole? How could anyone not notice that your loving is a miracle? Connected to my spirit and my soul.
Thank you. We
Thank
ended
you.
up at the end there.
I don't know why the music doesn't like me, but okay.
Oh, well, I mean, you did a great job. You
Thank
can
you.
go at any time. Thank you, Faith. So we used to do that every Sunday, actually. And I do sort of miss that song because that's really what happens in relationships, is that our self-esteem is what keeps us from actually feeling like we're worth loving. So that kind of brings me to what I usually talk about when it's time for Valentine's Day, because we tend to think of ourselves as separate from other people. And in truth, what we teach in our philosophy is that we're made of all the same stuff. So there is no separate. There cannot be any separation. Quantum physics backs us up on that and says that everything is made of the same molecules and the same atoms. And it's how rapidly these molecules bump up against each other that determines whether it's going to be a podium, or it's going to be a computer, or it's going to be a person, or it's going to be water, or it's going to be air. But there is a divine intelligence. There is an intelligence, of course, quantum physics doesn't call it divine, but there is an intelligence that instructs those molecules how to make a podium, or how to make a computer, or how to make a person, or how to make an animal, or how to make air, or how to make water. There is an intelligence that is instructing those molecules to form a certain way and bump up against each other at a rate that creates those things. Okay. And because of that, now they call it an intelligence, and I call it divine intelligence. I call it God stuff, because the molecules everything in the world is made up of the same molecules. So that's the God stuff. And the God intelligence is that which instructs all of the molecules on what to do and how to create. So we're all made of the God stuff, and we're all made of that God intelligence. And that God intelligence does run through us. So what that means is that we cannot be separate from each other, no matter what we try to do. And so when I pull a person into my life, what I'm doing is I'm pulling forward a mirror image of what's going on in my mind, in my beliefs. Now that can be, negative or positive. It doesn't have to be negative all the time. We sometimes, when we talk about mirrors, sometimes we get so loaded up with that, that like, oh, I'm just being a mirror for you to show you your stuff. And what's really true is that the good stuff is also being mirrored back to us. The stuff that we are, the love that we have in our heart is mirrored back to us by those people that we meet that show us that love. On the other hand, there are those people out there that we meet that are mirroring back to us that unhealed part of ourselves, something that we are afraid is true or something that we know to be true and we don't like about ourselves. They're there to show us that. Now, please understand, we never, ever, ever go out into the world and say to somebody, I'm just being a mirror for you. You've lost your audience the minute you do that. Trust me, I've had that experience, and I couldn't hear anything that person ever said to me ever again. And so that's something that we kind of keep silent about being mirrors for people. But what's really true is that your issues fit with my issues like a hand in a glove. And that's why we pull people into our lives. And the next time somebody really upsets you, instead of looking at that person and saying, look what you've done to me, look, within and say, what this person is saying to me, I have a fear that that's true. And so what is it about me that believes that that's true or is afraid that that's true or something like that? Okay, just look into yourself and ask what piece of a you own. Because trust me, if it's upsetting you, it's yours. It's not theirs. And so what's causing us pain is the inability for us to remember that it's not the other person, it's us. Now, I'm not saying, you don't confront people at all. Please understand, if you're being mistreated or abused, you get out of that. Get out of that relationship. Don't even try to work on it, because abuse is not something that you can put up with, and you certainly don't want to have to do the healing with. But if you are with someone who is willing to work as a partner with you, then you can then stop and say to yourself, what part of this is mine? And hopefully that other person is going to say the same thing. I know, I've spent a lot of years living and realizing that, when people are sharing their experience with me, I have it doesn't upset me if I recognize it's just their experience. When it upsets me is when I know that I have a piece of it somewhere. Like I know I've talked about this before, but I had this lady that in my congregation who was an English teacher, and she would, after the service, critique my use of grammar, which wasn't very pleasant. I will give you that. It wasn't pleasant. But I got to the point where I would just say to her, oh, thank you for sharing. And I would go home and do the work on it, because I kept thinking, well, what is it about that? Am I afraid that I don't use correct grammar? Do I not speak well? And when I really, really looked into it, it really had nothing to do with my speaking ability or anything else. It had to do with my, what we call an imposter complex. Even though I'd been through 6 years of schooling, even though I had done all the work to get where I was, I still felt like an imposter. I felt like I didn't have the right to be up there and speaking to people. And as soon as I became aware of that fact, she stopped. I mean, it slowed down. It didn't stop like, boom, it's done. But it slowed down until it did finally stop. And what I realized from all of that is that it was my stuff that she was pointing out to me. She didn't realize that, of course. She thought she was being helpful as an English teacher, which I'm sure, in most cases she probably was. But what I've realized, because when I first started in ministry, I felt like I had to sit and read my sermons, that I couldn't step outside that sermon, written out sermon. And then one day I spoke from the heart, and I got such amazing feedback from people that when I spoke from the heart, that they felt the message. It wasn't just listening to the words. And from that point forward, I started stepping out and not writing out every single word and not following it word for word as a script. And then along came this English teacher who started critiquing my grammar. And I had that moment where I went back to feeling like I had to read my sermons because I felt like I didn't have the right to just be me. And when I figured that out, not only I don't care anymore if I have good grammar or not. I don't really care if I say it the right way. One of my favorite prayers that I say every Sunday is that I let go of the need to say things a certain way or to say certain things. And I just let God move through me to provide the message. And you can't do that if you're worried about every word that comes out of your mouth, right? And so that was my way of healing that notion that somehow I'm not good enough for that. And so since it's Valentine's Day, it's really a celebration of love for each other, and usually more of a spousal type thing that we have, that we do for the wonderful people in our lives, to be our teachers, to be our mirrors, to be the people that share with us not only their own consciousness, but they can share with us the parts of our consciousness that we can't see any other way. And a lot of times when you go to a counseling session, a traditional counseling session, and you start saying, well, this, and this, and this about this person, the counselor's going to say, hey, get that other person in here and let's all talk amongst ourselves, because they feel like you can't heal it unless that other person is in the room and you can address it with that other person. In our philosophy, we know that all the work is done in the mind. So we don't feel like you have to have that person present to say what needs to be said. A lot of our forgiveness work that we do, Mother's Day, Father's Day, is done in the mind. It has nothing to do with that person being physically present in front of you. We can imagine that because, like I've said in the past, you can go to a movie and see a sad thing and you know it's just the movie, but you're going to cry because the brain doesn't know the difference. The mind doesn't know the difference between fact and fiction. And so if I'm sitting there and I'm talking to that other person and saying all the things that need to be said, I don't have to inflict my injury on that other person in order for us to heal that. All I have to do is say what I need to say and imagine that person giving me the feedback that I need for me to heal what's inside of me. And then it no longer becomes necessary to deal with the other person about it. But the idea is that if we're so focused on the fault of that other person, they can never show up to be the good mirror for us. Remember, Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said we create more of what we focus our attention on. So if I've got my attention so focused on your faults, then how am I ever going to see the good in you, right? Because all you're going to show back to me is, oh, you know, I think, well, that you're a rotten person. So you come back and show me just how rotten of a person you actually can be, right? Whereas if I can focus on the good in you, then you're going to feed back to me what a good person you are. And I'm not talking about manipulating people into being better people. Please understand, that's not my aim here. What I'm talking about is, if I only focus on the good, Duchess, what are you doing? Get back over here. If I only focus on the good in you, then I open the pathway for you to show me more goodness. Doesn't mean that you have to. Doesn't mean that, you know, you're going to change. All it means is that I've let go of whatever it is that is standing in the way of that goodness. And so I'm going to focus on the good in you, and I'm going to let that be the truth about you, about our relationship. So when we talk about Valentine's Day, what we're really talking about is honoring that person for their, role that they've stepped up to fill in our lives. But if I'm not feeling valued, for example, then I need to work on where the places within me that don't feel valued, no matter who is in my life, right? Because it's not about that other person valuing us. Duchess, get over here to lay down and stop it. Lay down. Stay. It's not about that other person not valuing us. It's about us not valuing ourselves enough to pull in a person who is going to show us value. right? So until I heal that part of myself that doesn't value myself, my partner's going to show up and show me just exactly how I'm not valued. And if I'm not respecting myself, my partner's going to show up and show me how much I don't respect myself. And if I don't feel loved, it's because I'm not loved. It's because I'm in some way blocking love from being my experience. It's not that we aren't loved, because God is love and that's what we're made of, right? So it can't be that. It's got to be that I'm blocking it in some way, that I'm no longer being that funnel through which God's love pours, and that funnel through which I throw out God's love to someone else, right? Now, I know it sounds a lot like blame. I get that. I really do. But blame is more like, oh my God, look what I've created. I'll never be able to get any better. That's blame. Taking responsibility for something is a whole different stature. Taking responsibility for what we've created is, okay, I created this. Because I created this, I'm powerful enough to uncreate it and create something else that I do like. And that carries with it that victorhood instead of victimhood. And so while it sounds like I'm blaming us for not feeling good, I'm not. I'm just saying that we create our reality, and what we focus our attention on, we create more of. So if I want to heal myself, if I want to experience love in the world, if I want to experience respect, if I want to experience value, then it's up to me to uncreate the situations where I have created someone mirroring back to me that lack of respect, that lack of value, that lack of love, and create the new me that is going to be open and receptive to love and is going to value myself and respect myself enough that I'm going to attract to me those people who are going to show that to me, right? Does that make sense? And also, my partner is going to show me where I've healed. They're going to step in and show me more respect, more value, more love, because we have now healed ourselves. What we fall into in life, that I found as human doings, what we fall into in life is we fall into this idea that someone else is going to make us whole. That if that person comes to me, then my life is going to be great, right? And unfortunately, when we bring to the table a lack of respect for ourselves and a lack of value for ourselves, then we perpetuate that, and we pull into our lives those people who are going to treat us with disrespect, treat us with no value, treat us with all of those things. Back when my husband was a musician out in the rock and roll world, they called them Band-Aids. They were girls who just wanted to be with a musician, and it didn't really matter. They didn't care who the musician was. They just wanted to be able to say that they had been with a musician. And they called them Band-Aids. And unfortunately, the band members treated them very badly. And I used to feel bad for them because I didn't quite understand back in those days. I was in my 20s and hadn't had all this training. So I didn't really understand that it was a lack of self-esteem that made them want to do that made them hurt that much that they wanted other people to hurt them that way. Because these guys would use them and just throw them away. And I, not understanding it until I got into this philosophy and then finally understood. So now that I can have compassion for them by understanding why they do what they do. These girls wanted to just have sex because they thought sex was the only way they were going to feel loved, when in truth, it just made them feel more unloved. And so we fall into those traps when we're young, because we don't quite understand how we show ourselves as valuable. And truthfully, it all begins in the heart. Like if I know that I have value, then I am going to project that I have value. And I'm going to attract to myself people who will show me value. And yet I have to maintain boundaries that say, you will value me. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's really important. But when we're walking around broadcasting hurt me, let's put it that way, because of our self-esteem, then we're going to draw people into our lives that are going to do just that for us. And so getting prepared to celebrate Valentine's Day in a relationship, for example, one of the things we need to do is take care of ourselves first. So take that bubble bath, give yourself chocolates, give yourself roses, give yourself whatever it is that's going to make you feel loved. Then you're not counting on that other person to do that. And then you can come from a place of offering love to that person. So, for instance, if I'm full within myself, if I feel full already, then I'm overflowing with that love that God flows through me, and I need an outlet to push it out to. You see what I'm saying? Versus, hey, I've got this hole to fill. Hey, maybe you'll fit in this hole. Let me grab you and see if I can stick you in there and make you fit this hole that I have. You see what the difference is? And really, it's all about us understanding our need for ourselves to fill, not someone else to fill the need for us, if that makes any sense. The other thing is being willing to be happy rather than being right. You've heard me say that a number of times. I would rather be happy than be right. So if you're in an argument with somebody, especially right before Valentine's Day, if you're in an argument with somebody, you need to ask yourself that very same question. Would I rather be right in this situation, or would I rather be happy? Because truthfully, what will it matter in 100 years? What will this argument matter in 100 years? If I win this argument and we agree that I am right, am I going to, in 100 years, be better for it? You see what I'm saying? But if I'm happy and I can create happiness right where I am, and I can draw to myself happiness, then in 100 years, it's going to matter. That's going to matter. The happiness, the legacy that I leave behind as a loving being is going to matter. Not whether I won that argument or I didn't win that argument. Does that make any sense? And so we're going to focus on the qualities of our significant other. Even though this is Valentine's Day, and even though this is the month of love, I just want to put in a little footnote here that says it works the same way with abundance and health to every principle I teach here. It's applicable in every area of your life. And what's really true is if I'm focused on what I don't have, I'm sick. I'm sick and tired. Everybody says, I know I have a million times. When we're saying that to ourselves, we're encoding like an affirmation. We are deviating the grooves for us to feel sick and feel tired, when instead we are affirming that we feel alive and vibrant, and vitality is my experience, and health, and I feel like I have all this energy. Then what we're creating is more of that, you see? Because if all I'm focused on is what's wrong in my life, I'm creating more of what's wrong. If I'm focused on what is right in my life and I'm grateful for it, then I'm going to draw to me that more of that which I am grateful for. For instance, when I am focused on I don't have any money, I can't afford that, then we've created more situations of I don't have it. I want to know that I can go anywhere, do anything I want without any thought to the amount of money I have. So let's take it back to relationship again. What is it that I want out of this relationship with money, right? What is it I want out of this relationship? I want the freedom. So money to me becomes a symbol of my freedom. And if I focus on how money creates freedom for me, in what ways my freedom has already been created and I'm already experiencing it, and I'm grateful for that freedom, then I'm creating more freedom, more ability to have freedom in my life because more money is coming in. Does that make a lot of sense to you? And so also, let's look at the relationship again, back to Valentine's Day. What do I want out of this relationship? What is it I want to feel? Do I want to feel valued? Do I want to feel respected? Do I want to feel loved? It all starts with me. It starts with my ability to honor myself, to value myself, to respect my fellow self, to love myself enough that other person can mirror that back to me. So this week, I really want you to participate with me, if you will. To understanding whatever you're feeling is something that you have control over. What does it mean for you to have loved yourself? What does it mean to allow yourself to give the gift of yourself for Valentine's Day? What does it mean for us to really understand our motivations for wanting love? And when we're in the celebration and perhaps we're not in a relationship, either way, we need to honor ourselves. We need to do for ourselves so that we are full already. And all we're doing is attracting another person who's full into our lives to add to our lives instead of to fill the hole that's there. We've already done all of this. I mean, not everybody wants flowers and candy. You know, whatever it is that calls to you in order for you to feel like you're loved, that's what you want to do. But this is our celebration of how much we love ourselves, not a celebration of how much we love another person, if that makes any sense. So this week, will you participate with me? Will you look at the other people in your lives as mirrors and understand that they're either providing love or they're providing a lack of something, a lack of value, a lack of respect, a lack of love, whatever that is, that we have created that situation and we have the power to uncreate it. Will you do that with me this week? Will you look at each situation with other people and understand that it goes back to you? And will you love yourself enough to give yourself the best Valentine's Day gift ever? And that is the gift of loving yourself. Let's have a prayer. I just move my awareness right now to that infinite power, that infinite presence of God, to that place within me that knows beyond human understanding just how powerful of an experience that really is. Because I do know that God is simply all there ever has been, all there ever will be, and all there is operating here and now. And so that's where I found myself, in the midst of God, my very essence, my very life, my very being. It is who and what I am. And every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that ancient wisdom of the ages that is God within me, acting through me, informing me through its wisdom. I know that same truth to be so for God's team, which I have the honor and privilege to manage, for Faith and for Lynn and for Tina and for Oz and for Karen and for Elaine. For we are one in that infinite power, that infinite presence of God, and every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that same ancient wisdom of the ages that flows through me, also flows through the team and everyone else. So I know this to be so also for anyone who is watching this, whether that be in real time or later on. For we are all one, connected by it, through it, as it. Mitaki Ayasan, all my brethren, we are all one. So I bless this coming week because I do know that it is an opportunity for us to shine our love to ourselves. And when we are flowing over, when our cup flows over, we then have something to release toward other people. So we fill our cup this week, full and brimming over with love. And then we offer it to the world, to that significant other, or to our family members or our friends, to the world. For love is truly what we are. And Valentine's Day is a celebration of that, just that. Love being truly who we are. So I know that this is the truth for every name that is in the ministry of prayer today, because I do know that whatever condition they are experiencing, God's love is the answer. Underlying all of it is the power and presence and love of God that just overcomes anything that is unlike itself. I pull back the veil right here, right now, and I reveal that truth here in this reality. I claim it and name it in their names as good and very good. And I give thanks for it. My heart just fills with gratitude to know that it is so, to be of service in this way. And so I just let it be. And so it is. Amen. Do I have to come back? Okay. I literally could just stay in prayer 24/7, I swear. Right now is our opportunity to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to express your gratitude for that which you have already received here on this physical plane, and that which you have created in the mind of God, but have not necessarily seen in this physical realm yet. Please go to www.oasiscsl.org, showing on the screen, and it's in the comments. About 2/3 down the page is an offering affirmation that I'm going to have you say with me in a minute. And then underneath that is the Contribute Now button. But let me talk a little bit about Contribute Now real quick. Because what you're contributing to is not salaries, it's not facilities, it's not that kind of stuff. What you're contributing to is the message of God getting into the world. We already have a global community. We already have people from other countries that watch us. But what we want to do is we want to heal the planet on a global basis. We want to be able to reach as many people as possible with this message so that they can heal themselves, and truly we can have a global healing. And so from that perspective, when you hit that Contribute Now button, that is what you're contributing to. Unfortunately, it isn't free. We have to have some money to get it out into the world, but that is what we're doing. So please go to oasiscsl.org, about 2/3 down the page. And whether you're listening to or watching this in real time or later on, say this offering affirmation with me. This perfect gift is spirit and form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is. Hit that Contribute Now button and contribute to this message getting out into the world. All right. I always have cotton mouth on this protocol. It's really interesting. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the Minister of Prayer, since I invoked it in that prayer. We have this wonderful team of licensed practitioners from coast to coast that will pray on those requests every day for a week. We call them our God Squad. So if you would like prayer for something, please click in the comment section and put your prayer request in there. If you don't want it to be public, you can always DM Faith or I, and we will make sure that it gets on that private facing group page for the God Squad. And a little note about the God Squad: if you would like to be part of the God Squad, you don't necessarily have to be a licensed practitioner to participate in that part of the God Squad. You must be willing to do prayer every day, affirmative prayer every day for a week on those requests, and keep those requests confidential. If you would like to participate in that, please type yes in the comment field, and Faith or will make sure that you are on that private facing group page, private group page on Facebook for our God Squad. And if you would like to be part of our online community, type more in the comment section and she will add you to our public facing group page on Facebook. Let me say another little thing about our God Squad, our Ministry of Prayer, because first of all, let me say this. Oz is going to be available after the service for what we call our 1 minute miracle. It's not a time for counseling, but it is a time where you can let him know what kind of challenge you're experiencing, and he will stop, drop, and pray with you right then and there. If you reach out to him through video chat, if you can't get a hold of him right away, it means he's on with someone else, so just try back later. But also know that our practitioners are available by appointment for a fee for spiritual guidance. So what you want to do is go to our website, oasiscsl.org, check up on our practitioners, see which ones you feel an affinity for, and then reach out to them and let them know that you would like an appointment. And they'll arrange payment either by Cash App, Venmo, Wired, I think it's called, Venmo, PayPal, however they take form of payment. I don't get involved in that. Each practitioner decides that for themselves. And you'll set an appointment, and then at your appointed time, they will reach out to you through video chat. All right. So take advantage of this loving service. Like I said, it is always so nice to have a practitioner praying for you. You just feel so good when you know someone is speaking on your behalf. Let's just put it that way. Saying the truth until your consciousness is ready to say the truth itself. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. Bracelet. I don't even have my bracelet. I don't have my mala beads. I don't know. I got dressed this morning, but I didn't get fully dressed, I guess. But please know that mala beads and bracelets are available from Brooks and Bailey. And what you want to do is all the proceeds benefit Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue. But you want to reach out to her through Brooks and Bailey 0307@gmail.com, or they also have a Facebook page. So I don't have my mala beads. I have amethyst ones that are $60, but whatever gem you pick, and they have some standard ones that are cheaper. So anyway, just to let you know that's available. And then Faith.
And please go check out the Mystic Brew. It's my metaphysical shop that has intention jars and bath salts. There might be a flash sale tomorrow, hint, hint, wink, wink. So go follow all of our social media like Instagram and Facebook, and order through our website at themysticbrew.com.
Cool. Thank you. Now, this is the intention jar for $15 that Faith made me for my prosperity. So I play with it. I jumble it all around. I sniff it. I just like handling it because it reminds me to focus my attention. We have an adjunct company here, and I'm not going to give you pricing because I'm very confused about the pricing. I thought the candles were $25 each, but I saw something on Facebook yesterday that I'm not even sure what the pricing is, so I'm not going to say that. And then she has these intention tea bags as well. You put them in your bath with you, and the herbs and everything help you focus on your intention. She has an Etsy store, and I'm sure you will find the pricing there. They are reasonable. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to quote a price and have that not be the right price. This is Angel Renee's stuff. All right. And then we always like to honor those that honor us, gift us with their music. So Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver's website is up. You can go on there, figure out which CD you want, but you will have to contact her by email to let her know. She's traveling around the country singing her songs and carrying her CDs around in her trunk of her car with her. And she can't update her website to do like Cash App or Venmo or something. And so you have to reach out to her to find out how to pay for it, and then she'll ship it to you. And she's very good at doing that. Then we have Karen Drucker's website, where you can buy a song, a CD, a songbook. Some of the songs even have American Sign Language in them. Karen Drucker's website does work, so you can pay for it right then and there, and you don't have to reach out to her, which is kind of handy. I don't know why Elaine can't fix her website, but she can. So, and then check out our website at www.oasiscsl.org. There you can find video sermons from the last 2 years and audio sermons from the years prior. We are also on YouTube and SoundCloud as S. Tucker. YouTube, we have the videos from the last 2 years, and SoundCloud, we have the audio from all the years prior. And so that brings us to our last song of the day. Again, if you know the words, sing it loud and sing it proud. If you don't know the words, get it stuck in your head, because it is a great meme to have. It blesses your life the more you sing it.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And I know that here and now and always, the blessings of God are all around us, in us, as us, through us, and beyond us. The blessings of God are something in which we are immersed in our lives. I invite you all to go and get wet. Have a good week. I give thanks, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Oz. So I know there's 1,000 things you could be doing on a Sunday morning, and we're really blessed that you are here with us. Next week, I am having some surgery, so we are going to do a rerun of a previous sermon. Faith is going to be here, so you can still talk to Faith, but everything else is going to be pre-recorded. So I will miss all of you. So join us next week, 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. I picked a good one, I think, for next weekend. I think you're going to enjoy it. And I will see you back here in 2 weeks. Stay safe, wear a mask, get vaccinated. I love all of you. Goodbye until then.